I actually was better off financially when I was making minimum wage in 2012.
Oh my God, somebody said it. Somebody fucking said it. Somebody said it. Somebody said what I was thinking. Let me tell you something. In 2012, I was living in Ybor City, Tampa, working at a Chili's getting minimum wage as a food runner, okay? But I was making enough to pay half the rent with a roommate in Ybor, who was also my coworker. Let me tell you something. We were making minimum wage, but we were living our best lives. We were going where we wanted, doing what we wanted, just like adventuring where we wanted to. Nowadays, that feels impossible to do with my fiance. I'm in a whole different state that once 5 or 6 years ago was more affordable than it is now. Back in Tampa, my roommate and I paid $425 each. $425 each for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a walk-in closet in his room. My consolation prize was that the bathroom I had was enormous. I truly did not realize how beautifully I was living on minimum wage. And I had minimal credit card debt compared to now. I didn't have student loans like I do now. Thank you to this woman for not making me feel so insane, because I was literally telling someone a few days ago, I feel like I'm making more money than I ever have before, even though it's only like 10 or 20,000 more than I've ever made on average per year earlier in my life. But for some reason, I feel like I am struggling with that income comparatively to when I had minimum wage and was living a good life. Like, I was very grounded in where I lived back in the day 10 years ago, but for the most part, if I wanted to travel back then into different countries and states, I could have very easily done so. And now we're in a dual income household, and you would think that we would be able to travel more, but it's like we're working more hours for more pay, that when the time comes to use that money does not feel like the money that I need it to amount to be able to cover the costs and have enough left over to enjoy my life. It's crazy. I know. It is absolutely crazy. And every time I think about the ups and downs and it'll level out soon, it'll not be this way forever, people left and right just keep telling me it's going to be super expensive.
I have just paid $2.60 per litre of fuel. I was about to say at this point I'm going to start selling my ass, but I already did. What the fuck?
Do you know why people steal groceries in this economy? It's because this costs $23. This salad is $10. These 4 mozzarella balls are $5.16. And this little balanced snack, almost $9. 23 bucks for that. Also, tell me why every one of these items individually is more expensive than ice cream. $4.99 for ice cream, which is unhealthy and you shouldn't be promoting people to buy. But it's more expensive than all of these items individually. $2.49. Does anybody remember when craft dinner boxes were 50 cents a box? $2.50 a box now? It's fucking absurd. That used to be like the ultimate poor man's meal. And now I can't afford it.
I'm gonna get hate for this, I feel like, but can we break the stigma that $100,000 is like a lot of money or something to aspire to?
She's right. She definitely got hate for that. I do think it's interesting to talk about right now, especially since most of us are feeling the effects of inflation and higher cost of living. You can watch her video, but basically she's arguing that if you think 100K is a lot today, you're limiting yourself and you need to aim higher. It's not that hard. Now, realistically, the average salary in Canada after tax is $43,160. And that's not entry level, that's the average for ages 25 to 34. But if you want to live in an urban area and you have lifestyle goals you want to meet, it's true, you're gonna have to earn way more than that average. So she's a freelance social media expert and she says she charges $1,000 an hour. That is a lot of money. A lot of comments are accusing her of privilege. To me, her work and money is not normal, it's exceptional. And I think the way you look and present can help a lot with that success. Ultimately, earning 100K a year is a lot. If you're working a regular job, that could take years. A lot of people will never know that kind of money. And if 100K, according to some, is no longer an impressive goal, what is?
I'm walking to the gym, but just had to think about what the hell is going on in Canada. I literally seen a dude said his landlord decided to raise his rent from $750 to $1,300 just on a whim. I'm seeing people talk about how cost of living is going through the roof, how dirty the fucking city is now. Everything is going to hell in Canada. And without doing enough research, I blame it on real estate investing. When you have rich people or just people in general buying properties without even attempting to live in them and adding a couple appliances and putting some bullshit floors down and 2 to 3xing to 4xing homes, well, this is the result of it. Literally seen some government officials say that. He said, we have an housing shortage, real estate crisis. This is the result of, like I said, rich people just buying up homes, taking them all, not living in them, and just trying to flip profits. Crazy.
Let's talk about the rising cost of living here in Canada. When it comes to these groceries, how much would you be expecting to pay for a trolley that is this empty? Because the amount that we paid is not it for me. $108?
No, it's not 1,000 excuses. It's 1,000 reasons.
If you have never been American poor, you do not have the right to talk to people about being American poor. But you know what? Let's look at the numbers anyway. Income minus your expenses, that's your budget. We're saying no healthcare, no insurance, no car, no transportation, no debt, no cleaning, no clothing, no cell phone, no internet, no pets, no fun. We're just looking at our wage minus our taxes, minus rent, minus utility, minus food, and that's what we have left over to budget. If you are working 40 hours a week in America at minimum wage and you are not paying any state taxes, just federal, and you're getting a 1-bedroom apartment, no extra utilities, just your electric and water, and you are eating at $10 a day, you are $11,979.60 short. Okay, cool. Get a roommate. You are still $1,179.60 short. Okay, but you know what? That's fine, because you can't even qualify for a 1-bedroom apartment because you have to make 3 times rent in order to qualify. So that would mean you would have to have 2 adults who were each making $30,600 a year. That is more than twice minimum wage. So for these states where they have a $10 minimum wage or a $12 minimum wage, that is still not sufficient for 2 adults to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. And that is still not counting being able to buy toilet paper and toothbrushes. So tell me, how are we supposed to budget our way out of capitalism? Go back to school and get a degree so that we can get a better job? How? These people make too much money to receive most federal assistance. These people make too much money to receive aid. These people don't make enough money to live, but they do not qualify for assistance. So how are they supposed to better their life? How are they supposed to save? These people aren't going to Starbucks every day. They can't afford it. You cannot budget your way out of capitalism.
The cost of living in the United States has officially gotten to the most expensive number it has ever gotten to, expressed in total or as a percentage in the history of the United States. For a single person right now, on average, it is costing $38,000 per year to just live in America. $3,189 per month. I don't understand how they expect that to be possible when the average income for one person in America in 2019 is $31,000. You adjust that for inflation as $38,000 in today's money. Even just looking back to the year 2000, looking all through the decades leading up, in 2023, we are officially at the highest point of cost of living it's ever been. Go back just 30 years to 1990 and the rent was only $465, a new house $123,000, and the average income was $28,000. So the change from 1990 to now is only $3,000 a year average income, but the cost of everything else has gotten almost quadrupled, or in some cases 10x'd. What's the end goal? What do they think is going to happen when the middle class can't afford to do anything? Everyone is officially at a point now where they're working just to live.
Is that your salary in the US, even though it's higher, doesn't go as far as it does here.
This is a crazy phenomenon. Costs of daily living in the United States have been outpacing wages for too long. I remember pre-pandemic, Getting a $300 to $400 car payment was totally expected and normal on a normal car. Now I see people working at their own dealerships driving non-luxury cars, and they're paying like $700, $800, $900 a month in their payments. As residents, we're expected to live in very close proximity to our hospitals, and lease renewals at these apartments have gone up thousands of dollars year over year. Between low resident wages, high cost of living, and student loan payments, almost unbearable for most people. And just in general, for most Americans, day-to-day living is becoming so much more expensive that now Americans are having to make careful financial decisions. And a lot of times this means spending less money on their health, maybe eating less healthy food that's cheaper, cutting back the gym membership, or skip out on medical and dental appointments. Either way, the way the current economy is going, this is just not sustainable. And I wonder about the long-term effects on the health of Americans if this trend continues.